I still remember the exact moment my parents chose my sister over me. It was my 18th birthday, and instead of celebrating, I was standing outside our house with a suitcase, while my sister was inside, crying tears of happiness. Why? Because she had just been gifted a brand new Rolls-Royce. And me, I was told to leave. No explanation. No goodbye hug. Just one sentence from my father. Emma, it's time you learn to survive on your own. My name is Emma Carter, and if you think that moment broke me, you have no idea what happened next, because the same family who abandoned me would one day beg me to come back. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back. Back to the day everything started to change. Growing up, my parents only had one rule: family comes first. But what they really meant was, my sister Lily comes first. Lily was perfect, straight A's, beautiful, popular, the kind of daughter parents brag about at every dinner party. And me, I was the quiet one, the one who liked books more than parties, the one who fixed broken laptops for neighbors, the one who stayed invisible. At first, I thought it was normal. Maybe older sisters always get more attention, right? But then small things started happening. Birthday gifts. Lily got a new car at 16. I got a used backpack. Family vacations. Lily chose Paris. I stayed home because someone had to watch the house. Even dinner conversations. If Lily spoke, everyone listened. If I spoke, the room somehow became silent. Or worse, ignored. Still, I tried. I really did. I cooked for them, helped my mom with work, even built a small online business fixing electronics. Not because anyone asked, just because I wanted them to be proud of me. But something strange happened. The more I tried, the less they seemed to care. Until one night, the night before my 18th birthday, I overheard something I was never supposed to hear. My parents were in the living room. I was upstairs, but the door was slightly open, and their voices carried up the stairs. My mom sounded excited. Tomorrow will be perfect. Lily deserves it. My dad laughed. I can't wait to see her face when she sees the rolls. Rolls? At first I thought I misheard. A Rolls-Royce? That didn't make sense. We were comfortable, but not that rich. So, how could they afford a car like that? Then my mom said something that made my stomach drop. What about Emma? Silence. Then my father said something I'll never forget. She'll manage. She always does. That's it. That was the entire conversation. Like I wasn't even part of the family. Like I was some background character in their story. I went to sleep that night with one question burning in my mind. Why? Why did they treat us so differently? But I had no idea. The next day would answer that question in the worst possible way. The morning of my birthday arrived. The house was buzzing with excitement, but not for me. A giant black ribbon was tied around something in the driveway. Lily ran outside, and when the cover came off, there it was, a silver Rolls-Royce. Shiny, perfect, straight out of a movie. Lily screamed with joy. My mom hugged her. My dad filmed everything. It was like a dream moment for her. Then suddenly, everyone turned toward me. My dad cleared his throat. Emma, we need to talk. The tone in his voice was cold, serious, not birthday-like at all. We stepped inside, into the kitchen. He placed an envelope on the table and a set of house keys, but not the kind you expect. These were spare keys. My mom wouldn't look at me. My dad finally spoke. You're 18 now. I nodded slowly. Then he said something that made my entire world stop. You need to move out today. At first, I thought it was a joke, a bad joke, but nobody laughed. My mom's eyes stayed on the floor. And Lily? She was outside, taking selfies with her Rolls-Royce. I whispered one question. Why? And my father's answer changed everything. He said, because you're not part of our plan anymore. My heart started pounding. What plan? What was he talking about? But before I could ask another question, he slid the envelope toward me. Your bus ticket is inside. Bus ticket? To where? That's when I opened the envelope, and the destination printed on it made my hands start shaking, because they weren't just sending me away. They were sending me somewhere they knew I would never come back from. And that's when I realized something terrifying. My family hadn't just abandoned me. They had planned it for years. But what they didn't know was that this mistake they made with me would destroy everything they had built. And the truth I discovered next was something they hoped I would never find out. The bus ride felt endless. Every mile I moved away from my family, my chest felt heavier. I kept staring at the envelope in my lap. Inside, besides the bus ticket, was a single note. Learn to fend for yourself. Don't expect us to care. No signature. No love. Just cold words. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. But I couldn't, because deep down, I knew crying wouldn't change anything. When I finally arrived at the small town I had never been to, I had exactly $20 in my pocket and a backpack full of old gadgets I had fixed over the years. I needed to survive. Fast. The first night, I slept on a bench outside a small cafe. People walked by, some giving pitying glances, most ignoring me. I thought about my family, Lily with her Rolls-Royce, living the life I had been promised, and me abandoned, invisible. But somewhere deep inside, something snapped. I refused to let them win. I refused to become the background character in my own life. I spent the next days hustling, fixing laptops, repairing phones, anything I could find. People noticed. A few offered me small jobs. Some just laughed at a teenage girl trying to survive alone. But slowly, things started to change. One evening, as I was fixing a broken tablet at a tiny electronics shop, a man walked in. He was well-dressed, sharp eyes. He watched me work silently. When I finished, he smiled. Impressive work, he said. Thanks, I mumbled. I have a business. Technology. I could use someone like you. My heart skipped a beat. Was this real or another cruel joke of fate? I took a deep breath and said yes. That one decision, one simple yes, changed everything. Within months, I learned how to run systems, manage tech, even small investments. I grew stronger, not just financially, but mentally. The Emma who was ignored was disappearing. A new Emma was rising. Meanwhile, news from home started trickling in. Lily's Rolls-Royce, she crashed it within 2 months. My parents' business, investments went wrong. And suddenly they called, Emma, come home. We need you. I laughed. I almost couldn't believe it. The family who abandoned me was begging for the one person they treated like dirt. But I had a secret, something I had been working on quietly, something that gave me leverage. And I knew if I walked back into their lives, it would never be the same. So I decided to go back, not to beg, not to forgive, but to show them that the girl they abandoned was no longer invisible. I pulled up outside their mansion. Lily's car was still there, scratched, barely running. I stepped out, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel small. I felt powerful. confident, like I was finally in control. My parents opened the door. They froze. "Emma, what are you doing here?" my mother whispered. I smiled. "Hello. I came to show you what happens when you abandon someone who refuses to stay broken." And that's when I dropped the truth on them, the one truth that made them gasp, the one revelation that would haunt them forever, because what they didn't know was that I had built a life they could never take away. And the best part, the real power wasn't money. It was respect. It was choice. I could forgive. I could walk away. Or I could watch them crumble, just like they watched me. And as I stood there, Emma Carter, once invisible, once abandoned, realizing she had finally taken control, I smiled quietly to myself, because finally I was free. And as the night fell, I returned to my small apartment, my laptop humming, the glow of my achievements surrounding me. I whispered goodnight to myself. Emma had survived. Emma had won. And tomorrow she would rise even higher,